Hey, you little gremlins! Do you like Fortnite? Do you like getting epic battle royales and eating chicken for dinner? Do you love to dab on your dead enemies as you hear the lamentations of their now recent widows? Have I said enough buzzwords to get your attention? Well, fuck off. This ain't your nephew's battle royale. This is the Hunt Showdown, and it's a game for red-blooded men and sociopaths who get a kick out of stalking a couple of hapless rednecks and then using their lack of general awareness and recklessness to fuel your own reckless spending. But what do you do in the Hunt Showdown? And, more importantly, why should you do? Join me, Flunk of Gunk, as we find that answer together. With that opener out of the way, let's talk about the only battle royale that is actually worth playing. So, who are you? Well, you're you. And him? Well, he's a hunter. What does he hunt? These fucking things at first. But then you realize that the real game is not about going door to door trying to find some great big beastie. No. The real game is waiting for your opponents to fuck up and reveal their location, which will allow you and up to 2 other friends to zero in on the competitors and take them out before they do the same to you. What are you competing for? That sweet, sweet bounty. The gameplay loop is boiled down to 3 key aspects commonly known as FFK, which stands for Find, Fuck, and Kill. Find the clues, fuck the boss, and kill your enemies. That bounty is mine, goddammit, and I'm not about to let some white shirt with a Romero get the better of me.
Trees. Oh, he hit me with a Romero.
Whew, that was a lot to unpack. So let's start at the beginning. When you enter the game, you're given your first goal. Use Darksight to locate clues leading to your target. Darksight is your hunter's power. It lets him see the location of the clues, which will, through the power of elimination, reveal the boss. Killing it will give you a bounty. When you extract with it, your hunter levels up, you level up, and you earn some fat stacks to go along with it, to buy extra equipment and do it all over again. But that's in an ideal world, and we do not, in fact, live in an ideal world. The true hunt experience is spawning, walking towards a clue, pissing off some birds, and then getting shot in the back of the head from 50 meters away. Why? Well, the short answer is, it's because you got shot. Long answer? Because the guy with the $400 Turtle Bitch headset heard you getting too friendly with the locals from across the map. The hunt isn't about hunting down the boss, it's about hunting people. The thrill of bit by bit, tracking a group of players that you can't see, but hear. Walking, running, shooting, doors, kennels, crows, broken glass, alerted enemies. Everything in this game makes a noise. It's almost impossible to remain silent for the whole game.
Guys. You fucking dead.
Eventually, you'll mess up and do something that will reveal you. Getting better at the game just means making less noise, and knowing how to approach and deal with the problematic situations that you'll encounter. As an experienced player, nothing gets my rocks off more than hearing this sound in the distance. Hearing it sends endorphins through my head like nothing else. It immediately tells me 3 things: which direction the players are, generally how far away they are, and which direction they're going, if I can see the birds fly away. Hearing crows going apeshit sets off alarm bells for everyone in the area. You might think it won't affect you too much to activate them, but it will. You'll have a shitstorm of bullets and bombs coming down on you if you don't leave the area quickly enough. There are many sound cues in the game just like crows. All of them are loud and all of them can be avoided. There's always a tool for the job. Worried you'll make the dogs in this kennel bark if you get too close? Use a throwing knife to quietly hit the lantern above the dogs, silencing them for good. That horse making too much noise if you go near it? Shoot it with a suppressed weapon. Teammates shooting their guns at shit that doesn't need to be shot at? Stab him, to let him know that you saw him shooting that grunt and you aren't afraid to ditch his ass and book it to the exits. The hunt has a beautiful slog of a gameplay loop. But before we talk about that, let's talk about your hunter, the guns. The guns are to die for. Literally, you'll die to them a lot. Just like this poor bastard who was way too loud to be sneaking around like this. Fuck, that was juicy. There's 3 weapon types: large, medium, and small arms. Every hunter can equip a large weapon and a small one, or a medium weapon and another medium, or a small if you have mental issues. There's a perk which allows you to have a large weapon and a medium weapon equipped at the same time, giving you the ability to run one shotgun and one smaller shotgun. Combat in the hunt ultimately boils down to whether or not you're at range to use the fucking handheld cannons the game offers, or if you're close enough to melee. Melee is the pinnacle of combat in the hunt. If you're a distance away, don't bother, but if you're within 10 meters or so, the enemy will be overcome with the inability to aim.
Oh, that would have fight. What a fight.
Melee will often leave other hunters dead or dying. For some abstract reason, the game is clunky enough to feel like you're using a real weapon from 1985, so sniping somebody is often a free dopamine hit. And when it's time to melee, you become a god. Some of my favorite guns to use are the LeMat, a 9-round revolver with a single shotgun shell in the center, for when your enemy thinks melee will save him. The Nitro Express Rifle, the only gun in the game that can one-tap a player 100 meters away. How do you balance such a monstrosity? You can't see shit. The Romero Hatchet. If melee wasn't powerful enough, you now have 2 bullshit weapon profiles combined into one unholy moneymaker. A literal belt-fed revolver, 17 shots and 28 seconds spent reloading the damn thing. The Mosin Nagant Automat. I shouldn't have to explain why I like this one. Hey, you remember that hatchet from a few seconds ago? It's got an older brother, and it's called the Bomb Lance. Do you like the explosive crossbow the game has to offer? Do you like to strike fear into the hearts of your enemies? Order the Bomb Lance now from Durano's Direct, and not only will you receive the strongest weapon in the game, but will include 6 explosive crossbow bolts absolutely free for only $1.99. What a steal! And that's not including all of the very meaty and very dangerous rifles, and all of their alternate, versatile, and useful variations. Other fun things that your hunter can equip are utility-based. You've got your basics like your melee weapons or your med kits, but concertina bombs? Here, let me show you what a concertina bomb does.
Ow, not far.
Beautiful. Concertina tripwire, so you can surprise the enemy and yourself when they actually walk into the damn thing.
You know I had to do it to you.
Other funny items include a literal jar of bees that always seems to attack the user and never the enemy. There's a flashlight as well, for when you want your enemy to kill you deader. And a flare gun, not made for shooting flares, but for burning the local beekeeper for screaming at you when you get too close. All of the guns and equipment perfectly fit the setting. I couldn't imagine better weapons to roam the bayous of Louisiana with. Speaking of, the setting this grand hunt takes place in is packed to the brim with undead. If you're not careful, making too much noise is the least of your worries. The most basic undead you'll encounter is the grunt. They come in 3 flavors: normal, bleeding, and burning. A simple blow to the head will often finish them. Second would be the hellhounds, devil dogs that are faster than you and hurt pretty bad. They travel in packs and will often make you go loud if you're not confident in your melee skills. Hives, contorted beekeepers that unleash the swarm upon your dumb ass. Kill them quickly to preserve your health. Throwing knives are good too if you can hit their head. Armoreds, they're pretty basic, you just have to hit them a lot. Meatheads, avoid them if you can. They can't actually see you. The leeches that they spawn act as their ears. Use lanterns to take them out if you have to. Sometimes they'll appear defending clues. I shouldn't need to explain why that's a pain in the ass. Water devils. Just don't spend too long in the water. Finally are the immolators. They're not bad if you don't pierce them. Use blunt weapons to kill them. And if you don't, they pop. The last enemies are 3 bosses. All 3 are wonderfully designed and are creatively creepy. You've got the assassin, the butcher, and... I've been playing this game for 2 years now, and fighting the spider never gets any easier. Once you've actually collected all 3 clues, or found the boss by happenstance, you'll need to fight it and banish it back to hell. After a few minutes, the boss's corpse is dragged back down to hell, and the devil gives you a tip for his special delivery. The bounty, the prize, the money bags that you just can't wait to take home. but that's the easy part. Throughout this whole process, other hunters could be tracking you or heading to the boss room that you're fighting in. In order to tell if other hunters are nearby the boss room, the icon for the boss will flash white if you're clear, red if players are in the vicinity. Once you actually start to banish the boss, you'll burn a hole into the map of any other hunters lagging behind. Pretty much telling everyone, hey, I'm about to have that thing you want, come and kill me or something, I don't know. You're telling the whole server where you are. That's where the showdown part of the title comes into play. Once you've defended yourself, you can head for the extraction and leave. Or get exit camped by people who predicted which exit you'd go to and die anyway. Fun. If you do manage to extract, however, you'll earn yourself a massive payday and a fuck ton of XP. XP at this point will divide in two ways. Part of it will go to you, and part of it will go to the thieving prick of a hunter that you just played. I kid. But no, really, fuck that guy. Once your hunter levels up, he'll earn points for each level that he goes up. These points are spent on perks like fanning, which lets you fan the hammers of a revolver, kite skin, which reduces fall damage, or stuff like bullet grubber, which gives you the sexiest reload animations ever. You can also buy back burnt out health bars. Taking burn damage or dying will reduce your maximum amount of HP, and the only ways to get it back to full is to have it restore to full when banishing a boss or by buying it back with perk points. So avoid fire damage or dying.
Yep, that's me.
Don't trust your teammates, by the way. They'll use and abuse the fact that you exist. Oh, one tidbit I forgot to mention. Once your hunter dies, he's dead. Gone. Not coming back. People die when they're killed. Get with the program. Use your money to buy a new one and start over. And if you run out of money, use a free hunter. You fucking poor piece of shit. Welcome back to Flex's Guide on being good and staying rich at the hunt. Legit though, real quick, all of the guns in the game are amazing. Genuinely. I've given them all a go at some point, and they're all great. Ignore the price tags. Even what you might consider at the start of the game to be the shittiest weapons are actually my golden guns. Let me explain. The Romero shotgun, for instance, is considered by a lot of newer players to be utter shite. I mean, look at it. If I was new, I would think so too. At first glance, it really does seem like the kind of gun that you'd use once or twice to get some levels and then switch off to find a better gun. As you level up, of course. But nah, don't do that. Let's compare what you're getting for value when it comes to shotguns. We'll start with the best shotgun in the game, the Crown and King. Able to fire twice a second, dealing 185 damage up to 12 meters and holding 5 shots. Pretty crazy, but for $600, that's almost the cost of an entire bounty. I mean, it's good, but it's a lot to lose if you die. Next up is the Spectre. 5 shots again, 185 damage again, and still at 12 meters range. But the difference is that it is not automatic. You have to chamber each new shell, giving it a fire rate of 1 shot per 1.5 seconds. Still fairly good, but to take that long to shoot with a close quarters weapon, you'd best be killing them in 1 shot. This one costs $188, not a bad deal. Next up is the Coldwell Rival, a double-barrel shotgun, dealing less damage than the others, sitting at 175, less range, a mere 10 meters. However, it does have a fire rate of 1 shot per 1.66 seconds. That's really good, but it's capped by its 2 shell capacity and 4-second reload time. This only costs $100, but not even worth it in my opinion. And finally, we have the best gun, a Romero 77, clocking in at a whopping 200 damage, 15 meter range, higher handling and higher pellet travel speed. Although this gun only has 1 shot and a 3-second reload time, it will slay. You only need 1 shot most of the time, and it will only set you back $34. That is how you will save money in the hunt. Learn your weapons and use their strengths. Killing a player with a Romero can earn you back your entire character and then some, because you can take their guns. Looted weapons are considered contraband and cannot be sold, but they can be used until your hunter dies, or you can store them for later. But think about it. What if you win that firefight? Your chances are high if you play your cards right. It's not hard to get the jump on players. Use a free hunter, grab a Romero, kill some random dude and upgrade your kit. It'll cost you barely anything, and it might cost him maybe a $490 Mosin, or a $600 Crown and King, or even a $437 Sniper Labelle. The world of the hunt is your oyster, if you're smart. It's all about value, what you can earn and what you spend doing. Is it better to run a $1,000 character and die to a random grenade or bullet in the back of your head? Or is it better to grab a cheap hunter, use him well and grab that dead idiot's gun? He didn't deserve it anyway, and then win the game? Put points into perks that benefit that gun you just got. Become strong, not by spending money, but by hoarding it like a madman. Die to a stray bullet, and then buy another cheap character and start all over again. Don't get too attached to your hunters. When you do, you play it too safe. You need to be confident in the hunt. When it's go time, it's go time. No sitting around and hiding in bushes. Someone will eventually spot you anyway, and then it's too late for you to get into shotgun range. I only ever spend money on my characters when they've earned it. If they die, so what? I lost the price of a knife, a medkit, and a Romero. Big deal. But what if he wins, kills a few geared hunters and leaves? He'll make bank, and I'll reward him well for doing so. Grenades, vitality shots, concertina bombs, traps, perks, guns that complement the main gun. Even if he dies after all that, I've lost what, a few $100s? So what? I didn't lose a Mosin that I bought. What does it matter to me? That's the hunt, and that's what it's all about, and that is why it's so much fun, so painful, so brutal and frustrating, and that is why I love it. No game has ever captured the feeling of stalking prey better than this game. Battle Royales can be good, and you could be playing them right now. Thank you for watching.